Hi, you guys. Good afternoon. I hope you're having a great day. What is the date today? If you're in California, they just changed the moratorium on rent relief, and they also suspended over 1.4 million people getting unemployment currently so that they have no money, claiming that fraud occurred, but taking no ownership that they're the ones committing the fraud. Okay. So look into those two things if you're in California. I spent the morning looking at this person's channel, Doug Ten Naple, and Sean Atwood's channel. And, you know, they are reporting in a way that is not incendiary. So I have a tendency to go in an incendiary direction. And I want you to go to these two channels and kind of look at what's going on. Now, I don't know. I mean, I've never wavered on my feelings that Trump is best for our country. And I have told you and I have reported things that I know about President Trump as well, that he's been in a high level of authority for many years under the old post office. I know that I showed you this. I know I showed you his signature on many things related to the old post office. So I'm sure he's aware of, you know, unfair policies and practices within local governments and definitely in California, because under the GSA, which is the General Services Administration, he was the authority signing off before he was President Trump. So President Trump has been in a high level of authority for very secret, specialized programs for many years. And I believe that, you know, if he is what they say in terms of, you know, certain movements related to the generals, then I would just not worry about it as much as, you know, many people are worried about what's going on and how the media is slanting everything. And you just have to know the media always has done this. The media always has. I mean, entrapment is a federal crime. Entrapment and defamation, you can sue for these things, but it just kind of calls out what's, you know, to me, you can't take an event and then spin it. You have to take an event with your observation. You have to say words like, I believe this to be true. I believe this to be true. But when you see someone signing off on certain projects, it becomes fact, right? Now, I'm going to just go into this LAPD. There's an LAPD, okay, Chief Moore of the LAPD, you know, they're doing these crimes, I think I told you, you know, through police function. So what they're doing is they're taking people and they're trying to frame them 3 times for a crime. 3 times for a crime. After they frame them 3 times for a crime, they can do what I've been talking about, which I'm not going to say today. But this is pretty interesting because through a FOIA request, they got, you know, it's pronounced Michael Moore, even though it looks like the spelling is Michelle Moore. I just want you guys to see this. Sorry. All right. And, you know, there's a lot going on, and I don't know what's going on at the election, you know. I just don't know. I haven't decided what is going on. I just am observing and watching the people who are making, you know, they're analyzing the data that is being put forth. I'm also analyzing it. I'm just trying not to speak about it because I don't want to, you know, say something that's not politically correct on my channel. Obviously, you know, my whole channel is not politically correct, but I'm doing my best. sure what this is. From... So what they're doing through the police function is they take out, California governor, knowing that you have protected yourself through copyright, will take out through the California Insurance Commission or something, takes out a criminal intent to harm you. I know this sounds crazy. This is interesting. 200 at Getty on foot. MFF is en route. First Lady is home. Daughter, mayor at City Hall. Protesters on foot. Leadership there. Captain, I don't know. Roger that. Okay, now Roger has a whole legal meaning that I found when I've been studying this. Roger, when you say Roger that, it is it's Roger and out, right? So Roger in slang, let's look at it, is Roger was slang for another term, the cloud of toxic green gas that swept through the chlorine bleach factories periodically. From circa 1940 in U.S. and U.K. wartime communication, Roger came to represent R when spelling out a word. Okay, R is research. Roger, that is a phrase used to affirm or acknowledge a statement or question. Roger, I have received your transmission satisfactorily. Radio check is loud and clear. Roger may be used to mean yes, with regard to confirming a command. However, in air traffic control phraseology, it does not signify that clearance has been given. It's either over or out. Either way, over and out has, to me, that these words have the same legal meaning. Roger Wilco is silly. Roger means I heard and understood you, but might not do what you say. Whereas Wilco means, isn't Wilco a band too? Wilco means I heard and understood you and will do what you request. Okay, so here's another meaning of the word Roger. I just want you guys to know that what I've said the whole time is what is true. R is now Romeo. Roger has remained the response meaning received in radio voice procedure. In U.S. military, it's common to reply to another assertion with Roger that, meaning I agree. Okay, but look at this. In military, in British slang, right? It means this. Okay. I have this book about radio calls and radio principles. It's pretty interesting. It's a very old book. So before voice communication, pilots used Morse code. Instead of tapping out that message was received, they used a shorthand, just tapped out R. Just saying R could lead to communication errors, so they took Roger from the U.S. phonetic alphabet. Roger that is a colloquialism that some cowboy kid who watched too many Hollywood movies might use in conversation, but never used on the radio, i.e. on the net. Roger is a Christian boy name and is an English originated name with multiple meanings. Hodge, Robbie, Robin, Rod. Batman and Robin, right? So, I mean, just keep looking at what this means. Also, copy that. Copy that is something when you're on any set in Hollywood through the walkie-talkies. Copy that, right? Means you heard what they said, right? I heard and understood the message. Copy that. But guess what? Copy that is also an infringing, it has to do with infringing duplication of copying an artwork. So copying an artwork that doesn't belong to you is illegal, and that means you're infringing, right? And then they use it in astronauts. You know, astronauts use it, I'm trying to say. Roger stands for received, order given, expect results. Right. Roger in Spanish means received and understood. The Spanish equivalent could be recibi. Rogers is a patronymic surname derived from the given name Roger, meaning son of Roger. The given name Roger means famous spear, derived from the Germanic elements Heyrod. H-rod, meaning fame, or jeer, or spear. And when I think of this, you guys, I mean, you can just go down and see, right? If you want. And I always think you need to look at radio. Procedure. It is a procedure word, loud and clear. Now, I've explained to you how they do this, where they try to frame you for adulterous behavior. And you get something called a scarlet letter on your, basically on your chart, saying this is a person that is out of control. And you know, I've explained this. So when you look at the scarlet letter in Congress, and you guys, I always look at the date where I was injured. It shows some strange things, right? Remarks before the American Committee. See, daily, here it goes. They ordered Hester to wear a scarlet letter. Hester Pierce. So they're literally framing people, which is entrapment, by telling the community of women not to talk to the person that's a woman, so that they only have men to talk to, and then the men are constantly trying to frame them or make it look like they're an adulteress. So maybe a man, for example, will come to you and say, oh, I used to be married, like this man that I was dating that he was not split up, but he said he was separated from his wife. Both of them worked for Halliburton and the Department of Defense, but were posing as, she was posing as a teacher, I think, and he was posing as a musician, a bass player, and also a producer. All right. And did her parents really do that to her? Is she named Hester Prynne, the main character? The answer is no. Hester is a family name, not a literary one. That said, I do not... Did her parents do that to her? Come on. Yes. Yes. Having a baby as the result of an extramarital affair in the 17th century New England and refusing to name her partner in crime brought hard-hearted, merciless condemnation. But they are using this specifically to target American women, and mostly American Christian women. And, you know, I'm just talking about how it works in California. I don't know how it works in the other states. But, you know, Christians tend